Welcome, everyone. It's great to have you here today. My name is Aaliyah Schneckenberger, and I support mid-market content at Intuit. We're excited to bring you this special event sponsored by Intuit Enterprise Suite. Today, we will be sharing details around our November new features release, and I'm joined today by my colleague, Matt Bright, who will be showing the new functionality in real time. Let's dive in. Today, we'll be focusing on 4 key areas of enhancement: multi-entity management, improvements to our existing AI agents, business intelligence, and bill pay and payroll. First, let's talk about multi-entity management. Let's start with enhancements to reporting. You now have the ability to get deeper insights with richer details, expanded drill down into consolidated reports, visibility into intercompany activity, and broader team access. This allows for more collaboration and efficient processes. Next up, intercompany expense allocations. Previously limited to bills, checks, and expenses, intercompany allocations now cover more ground to give you more flexibility and control. Also, with 360-degree portfolio visibility, you now have a single dashboard for multi-entity data that safely extends access beyond just your admins, making it easier to share work, strengthen controls, and boost productivity. I'll now hand it over to Matt so he can demo these enhancements in real time.
Well, thank you, Aaliyah. And I'm really excited to show everyone a few of those enhancements we were talking about earlier, especially when it comes to managing those multi-entities. As you can see, just a very brief overview of what we'll be talking about, how we've improved the consolidated view, kind of how you access that and what new features it opens up. Some of the reporting enhancements. So we've had a lot of feedback and requests on, even though the reporting has improved vastly, what are still a few things or a few reasons why customers may export their reports to Excel to do further customization. So happy to show you some updated enhancements for color coding and doing other work that still used to require an export, but not anymore. Then we'll jump into our intercompany expense allocations. Dynamic allocations, what's the difference, how to use both of those, as well as jumping into our intercompany sales. So that being said, give me just a moment. I will open up my demo environment. And as you can see here, this is what your user interface used to look like. For some of you, these buttons across the top may be new. This is our new user interface or UI, where we've kind of taken all the key jobs and tasks that you have to do, but put them in this icon fashion. So it's a little easier, not quite so busy down the left-hand side. But back to what we were talking about multi-entity and consolidating. The first big call out I want to talk about is you used to have to go to your parent account and you would see a button over here. That's no longer the case. How you navigate to your new multi-entity enhanced reports is you go to this consolidated view. And this actually sits above. This is a whole reporting view that sits above your parent level. This does a number of things. It gives more users access or permissions to have access to seeing the consolidated reporting. And then it opens up a few new features that we'll be talking about today. But let's go ahead and take a look at this consolidated view. Again, it's very similar to what you would see, what used to be in the parent view. But there's also a few new things here. You can see on the Create button, this is where we can now find our intercompany journal entries. Again, that net new feature, dynamic allocations, we'll be talking about that in just a moment, as well as those important eliminations after you've done intercompany transactions. Like you're used to before, you have the dashboard on the main page, your consolidated reports are in the middle. And then there's a couple new pieces we'll talk about as well. Intercompany account mapping, how you set up your due to, due froms, and intercompany elimination accounts. So some of the important groundwork or foundational work to make sure that we have all of this set up and ready to go for you. So let's kind of dive in now that we've had just that brief overview. For intercompany expense allocations, the first thing we're going to take a look at is setting up the foundation, which of course comes to your user permissions. So again, if you want ones to have access to this, make sure that you go in and you give the right users the right access at the right company levels so that they can see either those individual company reports or, again, the roll up of all companies. Next, intercompany account mapping is the next piece we'll want to address. So after you've given the right ones the right access, now you can go into your intercompany mapping. And again, this is where you set up those due to, do froms. Here you can select your different companies. And then again, let's say in this case, you have a company one and you're wanting to share a transaction with other companies. These have already been kind of mapped. So let me just go ahead and click on add. And now you can see we can make a new mapping here. So here's Keystone Construction, or again, all these will be our parent account. And maybe here's where I want to map to one I have not mapped to yet of my other entities, in this case, Keystone Vault. Again, what this is doing is this is establishing on the chart of accounts those due to, do froms. So as you take one expense and you allocate it across 4, 8, 10 businesses, it knows exactly where to put those debit credits, where those due to, do froms are belong on the chart of accounts. So again, a foundational piece. You can just click on done here once you've mapped these correctly. And now you're ready to start using your intercompany transactions. Let me go ahead and click done. It's trying to remind me that I have some unsaved changes here, but we won't save those just due to this being, we already have them set up the way we need them to be. Now that we have our intercompany accounts mapped, and again, intercompany elimination accounts, very similar view. We'll just look at this for a quick moment. All this is part of that foundational setup. Here you can see your different companies. And then again, you can access the different accounts on your chart of accounts. This is really helpful, again, if you have maybe different naming conventions on your chart of accounts. But as it says here, in your consolidated reports will automatically offset the transactions and balances between them. And this is just, again, the decryptor key, if you will, or this is how you set up that foundation, how you do those mappings to make sure we've eliminated the right things in the right accounts as you either share those expenses or as you eliminate those expenses. So what's also different now is how you access intercompany expense allocation. So let's talk about that for a moment. What you used to do is and I'm going to drop down into one of my child or parent company here. Give me just a moment. But you used to go into your bank feeds. Now what we've done is we've actually moved this workflow to your bills. Okay, so once this loads up here, you'll see bills down on the left-hand side. We'll go ahead and click into a bill, and then we will show you how you now can do a manual allocation, and then we'll also kind of show you what the difference is between allocating kind of the more traditional way we've had this set up since launch, and then that new dynamic allocation. So as we mentioned, that new space where you'll find those allocations, you can go to accounting, and then you can go to, you can go to expenses, and then you can go to bills. Okay, so expenses on the left-hand side. We'll go ahead and pull up our bills. And then let's take a look for a bill that maybe hasn't already been allocated. So we can click into this bill itself. Give that just a moment to load. And now you're going to see the allocation button right down here before or below. As you click on view allocation, here you can see this has been split up between two different entities. And so it makes it, again, very simple. And then also another new feature is viewing whenever you do an allocation, you can go and view the actual journal entries that it's made. So again, a very simple way that you can split up bills. You can allocate them between different businesses. And again, just a slightly different place that's located now. Instead of going to your bank feed, you can now go to your bills and split up those bills as they come into the business. Of course, that would mean doing your bills, splitting up your expenses one by one. But what if you wanted to do almost think of it like a bulk allocation? So let's maybe throw out a scenario. Again, bigger businesses we're talking to, high transaction volume. Maybe you have different small fees. Sometimes those happen when you're doing marketing and search engine marketing, and you're getting so many fees that are hitting you all the time, maybe multiple times a day or once a day. And so now maybe instead of going into 30 bills, one for each day of the month, and allocating them across your 5, 10 businesses, maybe you just want to take that entire expense at the end of the month from that vendor, or could be from a customer as well, and then split that up across multiple businesses. How can we do that? Well, that's where that next feature set and the one that we added in really comes into play, which is dynamic allocations. Now, several call outs here, a few things that are different about dynamic allocations versus the allocations done just splitting them up at the bill level. As this loads up, I'll just kind of give you the explanation here a bit. So what's really good about being able to do this in a bulk fashion is, again, you're just taking that whole or that total amount of expense for the said vendor or the type of expense or the customer. So again, just we'll keep playing on that scenario. You get marketing fees for all your businesses that come into one account, but those kind of build up daily. So now what you're wanting to do is you're wanting to grab all those expenses and allocate them all at once. That's what we're going to take a look at now. And if you noticed, I did go back up to the consolidated view. Okay, again, that's that multi-entity type of feature set that sits above your parent company. And then we go over to create, and you'll see now dynamic allocation. Here's where I can go in and I can, again, look across multiple businesses. I can, wherever that bill came into, let's say it was my child account here, Keystone Terra. Let's say I'm looking for a particular, in this case, advertising and marketing. And then, let's say that amount was $10,000. Now, normally, I don't have marketing fees coming in here on a daily basis. That's why I plugged in the amount. Normally, the amount would be auto-filled, but just so we can show you how it works, normally you would set this up, put in your category. It would see what expenses you have available. It would auto-fill that amount for you. And then again, now you can go in and allocate. Now, a couple quick call-outs before we go ahead and allocate this. If you notice, there's no individual line items. You're not going to see, December 1st through December 30th or whatever the case may be. You're not going to be able to see a breakdown of all the different small pieces that went into this, what is ultimately a $10,000 charge for the month. Again, dynamic allocations, while super helpful, and again, think of them almost like bulk transactions for allocating a bill or expense, it is going to just search by the vendor, search by the type of expense, and it's just going to give you the total amount due and then let you allocate it. If you're really needing to, go into, what were all the little specific billable line items and what days and, et cetera. If you want that detail, that's where you're going to have to, again, split up transactions in the more traditional way that we showed you earlier. But again, if you're doing bulk, if you have a lot of them, if you want to just grab them all by that vendor, that expense type, and you want this amount filled, you can then go click allocate. Yep, I need to share this across 4 of my 8 businesses, we'll just say in this, for instance. And now I can split those up across those 4. So this just makes it much faster, um, and kind of like this little warning we get here. This feature, it says, is being disabled because we haven't mapped our companies. So again, what we talked about earlier, make sure that you do those foundational pieces first, which is the intercompany account mapping and eliminations mapping. Or if you see this error, you know that you haven't quite completed this across all your companies. I'm just going to do 2 here because I know these 2 have already been mapped. But I also appreciate how the software helps kind of guide you in the right direction. And then again, as we've always talked about, you can do this 50/50, or you can even take a look at, how much sales came in, how much expenses. You can look at a few different things to automatically split up these percentages, or again, you could type in your own custom ones to finish this out. Okay. And then we can click save. I'm not going to click save in this instance, but that's how easy it is to do a dynamic allocation at the end of the month. Again, just scooping up the total amount of owed and then spreading it across whatever businesses you need to share that expense with. So a lot that's happened there. And one last thing we want to mention before we move on and turn it back to Aaliyah is we've also had a couple of enhancements around intercompany sales. The ability to create an invoice intercompany, the ability to post that invoice automatically. This already existed, so I'm not really going to go into a demo because it's just the functionality slightly switched, and we just want to make a quick note of this for you. So before, when you would do an intercompany sale, it would post that invoice automatically to whatever, if company A sold to company B, we'll just use a very simple example. It would auto create the invoice. What we've done based upon customer feedback and enhancements to that workflow is now when company A sells to company B, it still creates the invoice, but it doesn't send it. It's waiting for a bill to be received at the other company, company B, and it's waiting for the person who's responsible for bill approval in company B to take a look at and approve that bill. Once they approve that bill, both the invoice and the bill will happen automatically, keeping everything in sync. In the meantime, while you're waiting, while that invoice has been created, before that bill's approved, those transactions will be found under unposted transactions. Okay. But once that bill approver, in this case, company B, approves it, that'll come out of unposted transactions and make sure that your books stay in balance. So those are all the updates. I know that was a lot, but really exciting. Again, based upon a lot of customer feedback, how we can make these workflows better, how we can make them solve for more use cases. Really excited to kind of break down all the things that we've done to make intercompany expense allocation and intercompany sales improved and with better checks and balances and workflows in place. So now we'd like to turn it back to Aaliyah to learn a little bit more about what happened in our fall release.
Thanks, Matt. Next, we're going to talk about AI. Intuit AI agents help guide the strategic decisions you make while streamlining operations and optimizing your cash flow. Powerful automation transforms how finance teams work, turning hours-long processes into minutes by proactively handling routine financial tasks and unlocking critical insights, giving time back so that you can focus on your high-value work. We've got a ton of new updates when it comes to AI. We've launched all new customer and payroll agents, along with enhancements to our existing agents for accounting, finance, payments, and project management. Too much, quite frankly, to share in this webinar. So we've provided a QR code and a URL, which will take you to another webinar that will deep dive into the specifics. I will also share it in the closing slides. During this AI agent-specific webinar, Matt, who we are all very familiar with, will walk you through a short video overview of our AI agents and how they make doing your work easier. He will deep dive into a closer look at our specific payroll agent and how it can assist you. And lastly, he'll talk briefly about other AI integrated agents and workflows and how you can learn more about them. See again the QR code and URL here. Moving on to business intelligence. What's new when it comes to business intelligence? First, we've got a ton of reporting enhancements. For example, now you can streamline data analysis, build polished packages, and share insights all in one place, saving time, cutting costs, and delivering clear, board ready reporting. With the KPI scorecard, you can get a centralized, real time view of your business performance, access an expanded catalog of nearly 100 predefined KPIs in the KPI library, or create custom KPIs. Track selected KPIs at the consolidated level and include them in dashboards and reports. The improved dashboards also allow you to track the metrics that matter most, all in one view. Start with pre-built dashboards like profitability or cash flow, or you can build your own using drag and drop widgets. AI summaries highlight trends in plain language, and multi-entity support provides entity-level views with consolidated views for select dashboards. And finally, management reports. Turn standard financials into branded, presentation-ready packages that combine financial reports, KPIs, charts, and written insights into professional, ready-to-share packages with cover pages, branding, and executive summaries. Now Matt will take us in product and show us.
Well, thank you, Aaliyah. And I'm excited to show you once again quite a few enhancements to our business intelligence. Now, many of these you've probably been working with, like the KPIs and the dashboards. Really exciting about a few net new things, advanced reporting, as well as some of the AI insights when it comes to our management reports. So let's jump in here and show you kind of, again, what are some of those enhancements that we made. So as we go over to our demo file and we take a little bit of a look at some of those business intelligence enhancements, one of the things that we want to do is jump into reporting here on the left-hand side. And as we mentioned, KPIs, dashboards, both these have those little dots, meaning that there's been new enhancements, and we'll definitely talk about those. But we'll jump into KPIs first. Again, this is something that we've talked about the last several releases. Just maybe a very quick overview. You can set up all these different KPIs. You can manage KPIs. There's a whole list of different KPIs that are pre-created. But one of the enhancements with this new feature release when it comes to KPIs is creating your own custom KPI, which is great. So now what you can do is you can go in here and you can actually build a custom KPI. So you can give this a name. Maybe you're wanting to look at your OPEX count a certain way. Maybe you're wanting to look at profitability a certain way. Maybe you're wanting to put in your own custom formula. Okay. And so again, this is where a lot of reports, while we've improved vastly, still found some customers exporting them to Excel because they wanted to do a few custom formulas. Well, the great thing is now, if you can't find that perfect KPI in our KPI library, well, you can build your own. Or even if you like the KPIs, but you've always wanted to see your data a certain way, you've just never been able to, and you didn't want to tie up your staff with all the time it took to export it to Excel and add in those formulas, well, now you can do it right through the user interface. Name your own KPI. It'll now be in your library along with your custom formula. So really exciting there, adding those enhancements to our KPI dashboard and libraries, your own custom KPIs. Then again, too, we had mentioned dashboards, several new reports here, several new ways to view reports, several different visualizations in the dashboards. So this is really exciting. Again, we're not going to spend a ton of time here, but if you haven't had a moment to look at this, I really encourage you to go in and look at this. And then what's also exciting, as you can see here too, is AI. Super exciting how it goes through and kind of takes a look at your data and helps you quickly sort and make sense of not just what the data is, not just what the outcomes were, but why were the outcomes that way, and how can you learn from and pivot, and what actions do you need to take based upon what happened with the data again for the previous month, previous quarter. How are you trending for the next month, next quarter? There's a lot of great insights now that you'll have on your various dashboards. But one thing I really want to talk about is management reports. I think this is one of the most exciting pieces, or at least as I've been showing this to customers on demos, talking with them about what did you used to have to do manually, and how can our software kind of help free up that time and automate for you. This is super exciting. Now, this is a monthly dashboard. We can also do quarterly, we can do annual. I'm going to look at one that's already been created, but just know, again, just like we were showing you on KPIs, you can create this whole thing custom. So you don't have to necessarily go with the flow that I've showed here, but I just wanted to show you a quick example. So as you've set up all that foundational work, your KPIs, your different pieces of the business and how you want to see it and what's important to you, cash flow charts, profitability charts, etc. Now you may need to package all that up at the end of the month for an investors meeting, for the board of directors, owners. Different ones may want to see, hey, what happened? And what do we learn from what happened last month? Well, what's nice is you've built all this out. It's going to pull it all together. But what's really neat is that executive summary, again, where AI can take a look at your data, it can do some analysis, and it can surface everything here for you. Super exciting, but also maybe you have a few things that you've noticed, a few analytics you've done, a few points you want to call out. Well, all of this is customizable. You can go in here, you can make edits, you can write additional information. Again, really helping you. And all of this, I should say, is editable. The beginning of this, the end of it, in the middle, if you want halfway through the middle to, add in some charts or graphs or whatever the case may be, we're really allowing you to make any edits and changes you need to so that your executive summaries, your printouts for the owners, the investors, etc., can be just the way that they want to see them. So super excited about how this kind of pulls several different foundational pieces and reporting and analytics and insights, pulls it all together for you, and hopefully makes this what used to be hours, it makes it just a few clicks of the button, maybe just a few quick edits, and now you have ready reports with analytics already built into them. So that's really what I wanted to cover on the key updates to our business intelligence. Now we'd like to turn it back to Aaliyah for a little bit more information about a few other things that happened with our fall release.
Thanks, Matt. Lastly, let's talk bill pay and payroll. Strengthen your bill payments controls, speed up vendor payments, and improve payroll and W-2 processing. All the fun stuff. Matt will show us live. Take it away, Matt.
Thank you, Aaliyah. And yeah, happy to talk to you guys about a couple of enhancements. Bill pay, something our customers have want integrated. And of course, we've done that a few revisions ago, but we've made a few enhancements to bill pay. And along the things we've been talking about as you go into pay bills, kicking off workflows, kicking off automations, approvals, giving you extra ways to make payments very quickly against your bills. So let's take a look at that. If we go into expenses and we go into bills, and of course mine defaults to unpaid, hopefully yours does as well, but if not, just go ahead and choose the unpaid column, and we'll go down to a bill here. Let's go ahead and open that bill. And then as you can see here, we can schedule a payment. What's nice about this is as we go to pay bills, this can automatically kick off the approval process. So one of the things that we've added is a new bill pay release approval workflow. So I might be the accounts payable person, okay? And I may be going into the bills like you see here. I might be, moving right on through and approving those bills to be paid. I know those are expenses. I know the due dates are coming up, and I know I need to do that. Before, once I approved it, check was cut. Okay. But now we have a new payment release approval workflow. And so what this does is this kicks off a process where whoever wants to go in and review that bill, whoever wants to go in and look at it and approve it before the check gets sent or before the electronic payment gets sent. We're really excited about this new release approval workflow. So by me going in and approving bills to be paid, it'll automatically kick off that workflow. Also, one other thing that we mentioned is you now have the ability to instantly do an instant payment on a bill, which is really helpful, especially if maybe you forgot about a bill or maybe you need to pay that bill really quick because of the due date. You don't have time to send a paper check or you don't have time for a more lengthy form of payment. We now even have where you can instantly pay your bills. It's available on the same business day. There's like a 1% fee, very minimal, but again, in certain scenarios, really helpful to be able to instantly pay those bills on the same day before 5 p.m. So we're really excited about that. As well as the other thing Aaliyah had alluded to was a few payroll enhancements. And the biggest one that we'll show you here, and you've maybe already seen this is with our AI, our payroll AI assistant. Really excited about that. But one other note I will give you about payroll enhancements is the fact that we've also scaled up the number of W-2s we can handle. We've made the load time much faster. We've done several things on the back end. Again, as we first launched this program, it was only for 50 entities, then 100, then 200. Obviously, as businesses are growing, they're adding more employees. And as they add more employees, there's more W-2s. And so there's several things we've done along scaling the software. So as you have 2, 3, 4, several hundred employees, you don't have any latency. You have minimal latency as you do things like run W-2s, as well as when you're running large batches of payroll, and as well as maybe you need to do some payroll corrections. We've improved all those key areas so that as your business scales, as your employees scale, your software is scaling with you and you're maintaining that performance and speed that you expect. So that's everything that I have. I appreciate you being with us today, and I'll go ahead and turn it back to Aaliyah for some concluding comments.
Thanks again for taking the time with us today. We hope you learned something. We've just scratched the surface on how Intuit Enterprise Suite can help you overcome challenges growing businesses like yours face. If you'd like to learn more and talk with a live expert, note the phone number and make sure you let them know that you came from this webinar. In addition, I'm sharing again the QR code and the URL for the AI-specific webinar that I mentioned earlier. Thanks so much for your time. Have a great day.